welcome to Optimism Fractal, meeting number 4. I'm here with my friends Rosmari and Tadas and Jason. We have an exciting episode for you. We're going to play the Respect game. We're going to introduce Optimism Fractal, share some more details about what we've been up to, introduce more about the Optimism Collective. Special welcome to Jason. Jason is a long-term friend. I see he's waving in Zoom right now if anybody can't see. So thank you and welcome, Jason. Thank you everybody out there watching too. Hope you're having a wonderful day and enjoying your life and having lots of optimism in your life and lots of fractal enjoyment. Yeah, I was just mentioning Jason, we go back, I don't know, a year or two, something like that, and he's participated and helped lead many fractal communities like the Alien Worlds Fractal, Genesis Fractal, and we had the Fractalpalooza, all sorts of stuff. But I think we'll start by getting into a presentation for anybody who's not familiar with Optimism Fractal and Optimism Collective, and also about the Respect game that we'll play, a consensus game to create profound benefits. If anybody wants to say hello to Tadas, Rosmari, Jason before I jump to the presentation, then feel free to do so. I really appreciate you all being here, and you all look great. And I will, I suppose, jump into the presentation, but feel free to jump in at any point if you feel inspired, of course, in this presentation. Oh, I see there's another person who joined too, so I will welcome Zaal. I see Zaal had joined. We got a thumbs up from Jason. Thanks, Jason, for the support. Appreciate it. Welcome, Zaal, as well. I see you had joined the Optimism Fractal event on lu.ma/optimism, so I recognize your name, but I don't think we met before, so I appreciate you joining, Zaal. We're just getting into, we just started recording, by the way. We're going to be up, and also Space Ranger Joe's joining too. We got a crowd of people. Space Ranger Joe's an awesome builder, awesome fractal leader with the Alien Worlds and Upland communities. So he's joining here. Welcome, Space Ranger Joe. I was just filling in Zaal, who just joined. We just started recording a couple minutes ago, and we are giving a presentation about what Optimism Fractal is, and also about the Optimism Collective. And then we're also going to explain how the Respect game works and how we'll collaborate in this meeting. I'm sorry, what's that?
You gonna go up and chat?
I'm sorry, what's that? Can you repeat? I wasn't able to hear you there, Zaal. If you'd like to ask any questions or say a quick hello, then feel free. If not, we can also go into more details after the presentation too. But if you want to share any questions or say hello first, then that's very welcome. Okay. I see you saying something, but I suppose I'll go. I'll go ahead and then we can share questions and comments and introductions afterwards, if that sounds good. Cool. Okay, cool. So here we are, Optimism Fractal. You can learn it at optimismfractal.com. This site has our latest media that we're creating. Also, the agency is joining too. I'm not sure who the agency is, but we'll admit the agency. We got some new friends in the Optimism community, I think. Really appreciate everybody joining. Hope everybody's doing well. I suppose I'll also, I actually know, I do know who the agency is. The agency spoke at the Fractalpalooza event and has been working with Joe with the Upland Aliens. So thank you, the agency, for joining and welcome. It's nice to meet you. We're recording right now, and we just started giving a presentation on Optimism Fractal, Optimism Collective, and what we're going to do with the Respect game, which I think that you're familiar with from the Upland Fractal. I see you putting the hands up. Thanks, agency. If it's cool with you, I mean, feel free to say a quick hello if you want, but I was just trying to get into the presentation. So maybe we'll introduce ourselves after we get the presentation. It'll be about a 5-minute presentation or so. I think that's good. So anyway, we'll get going here. People joining. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Really appreciate it. And hope that everybody's doing wonderful out there. And I see in the comments of Joe's giving a thumbs up. Agency says go ahead. Sounds good. We will go ahead. All right. So optimismfractal.com is a community dedicated to fostering collaboration and awarding public goods creators on optimism. You can check out our media and details and context and RSVP on our homepage here. This page is still a work in progress, but you can learn a little bit about what is Optimism Fractal and how you can join these events every Monday at 17 UTC to meet fellow optimists, amazing builders and creators, and create public goods and get awarded for creating public goods, and earn respect with our innovative and magical consensus game called the Respect game, and grow optimism and grow fractals and plant a better future for all. We have a little bit of an agenda planned for today. So first, I'm going to give a presentation. It's probably going to be about 5 minutes or so. Introduction to Optimism Fractal and Optimism Collective, and then also how do we play the Respect game. And then we're going to play the Respect game. We're all going to share what we do, introduce ourselves a little bit, share what we've been doing to help optimism, help fractals, help each other, and then earn respect with an innovative consensus game. You can check out optimismfractal.com/media to see the episodes we've published so far. We published the first 3 episodes. You can check out our first episode here. Welcome to Optimism Fractal, with the Optimistics teams introduced it. You can click on any of these for show notes and also to to watch the full video. They're about an hour long or so, and they give a great introduction to optimism and Optimism Fractal. Our second episode we just released, illuminating public goods. What are the best ways to reward public goods creators? And then we also have an article here, The Roots of Optimism Fractal, where you can learn more about how we've been building these tools for years, and with a bunch of great creators, some of which are on their calls and launching fractals in many other communities as well. So we're really excited to bring this to you with the Optimism community. It's been such a pleasure so far in the past 4 weeks. You can check out optimismfractal.com/details to see exactly how the game works, or at least a lot more details, as well as some of the key links like the Fractalgram app and so forth. But we'll go over this. You don't have to read it all right now, but this provides a helpful resource for anyone who wants to really dive into the details about how it works. And I invite you all to join every week and invite your friends on Mondays at 17 UTC, lou.ma/optimismfractal, where you can join. Thanks so much, everybody, for RSVPing and being here. You can also check out the Optimism Governance Forum, where we are posting weekly updates and weekly invites too, as well as our Telegram groups and Discord groups. And you can check out our Twitter at Optimistics_2 to watch, and then you can watch the full video we've been publishing each week to see all the amazing collaborations and all the great public goods that people are creating for optimism and for the world. So yeah, there's a little bit more or some more that I'm going to share with you here. So you can join our Discord here. You can also check out our site. So this Optimism Fractal is hosted by the Optimistics team. That's Rosmari and Tadas and Vlad, who developed the front-end software. And you can check out our work at optimistics.io. You can scroll through to see a lot of the cool stuff that we're doing with the Optimism Collective and the fractal innovations we've been building for a long time now. We have introductions to optimism. In case anybody is not familiar, we have general introduction, like this great 10-minute video where we give an introduction to the Optimism Collective and the optimistic vision, and how optimism is leading the way in many ways in the Ethereum and open internet, and awarding public goods creators with impact equals profit. All sorts of really cool stuff here that you can learn about if you're not familiar. And there's a bunch more on the blog too. I showed some of these before, but some articles about what we've been doing for the past years and why these tools are helpful, profoundly helpful for all communities, really, as well as more about Optimism Fractal and optimism in general. So you can scroll through. I recommend reading through these if you want to learn more, but just to give you a high-level overview of where we're at. We're also building tools. Tadas has built amazing tools that we'll be using today, such as Fractalgram, to coordinate and cooperate, and we produce videos from every meeting that you can watch on the Eden Creators YouTube channel or optimistics.io/videos. And also, for any badge holders that might be watching, we have a RetroPGF application that is live, and we'd love your support. You can check out our Twitter account at optimistics_ and check out the link here to see how we've been helping the Optimism Collective with Optimism Fractal and Eden Fractal and the OP Fractal stack. So appreciate your support and appreciate you spreading the word. And you can check out more, and I encourage you and welcome you to like and retweet and spread the word. You can earn respect by doing so. And we have lots of great content that we think will be really inspiring and really helpful for you all. So we hope you all love it, and I think you will. So that's the presentation. Basically, what we're going to do now is we're going to play the respect game. So respect game, we're working on a page with like really good tutorials for it, but right now we'll just give you a little overview. We gave an overview of it in the first Optimism Fractal meeting, and we wrote about it. Basically, the way it works is that we each will take turns, and we'll each speak for about 4 minutes or so and share what we're doing to help Optimism Collective, also fractal communities in general, because helping fractals is a really helpful service for helping optimism. So people can introduce themselves, share what they're doing, and then whatever you've been working on that might be related to helping the community, then share that for about 4 minutes or so. And then at the end of that game, we will use the Fractalgram app, which is an app that Tadas built with Telegram, and it will log in the results of the game on the OP mainnet, the Optimism mainnet. So we'll show you how that works if you're not familiar with it yet. But it's a really great app. It makes a really fun game. And then this respect, there's all sorts of great things that can come from it. It builds a respect score that can help build reputation, and all sorts of great stuff that can compose with other great tools to help communities cooperate better. We have an article about it at optimistics.io/tools/fractal tools/respect, and I will certainly make that link shorter so it's easier to say. All right, well, hope everybody enjoyed Optimism Fractal presentation. Hope that everybody's having a wonderful time. That concludes the presentation here. The meeting will be about an hour, so we'll do it pretty quick, and we have 7 people now, so I suppose we can go into breakout rooms. That's usually how we do it. Usually the way it works is that if there's more than 6 people, then we will go into breakout rooms, and then each group, in this case, there's 7 people, so we're going to one breakout room with 4 people and one breakout room with three people, and so you'll have a more intimate conversation where you can introduce yourself and share what you're doing, and then we'll return from the breakout rooms in about 40 minutes or so. Maybe we'll do it because we have relatively small groups, and maybe we'll wrap it up at like 16 or 17:55. Although if anybody needs any help too, we can coordinate that. All right, so that's a lot that we shared. Perhaps also, I don't know, it might be good to just, if anyone wants to introduce themselves or share some thoughts before we go into the breakout rooms, then feel free. We're kind of pioneering this since we have 7 people, but maybe I'll leave a little bit of space open if anyone wants to say a quick hello, but I think it's probably good to go breakout rooms. But Tadas, I want to ask you one question though, because I know that in other Fractal communities we had, there was issues with having a breakout room of 3 people with the software. So I'm wondering, when you built the smart contracts for Optimism Fractal, are we able to do 3 people voting in a room and have it work well?
Yes, we can
Okay.
have 3 people.
Okay, great. And so I suppose maybe best is just to stick to the formula and the plan then, and I'll just start the breakout rooms now, and we'll do one breakout with 4 and one with 3. And then if anybody has any issues in the breakout room, if you're not sure how it works or anything like that, I think most people here understand how it works. So feel free to ask people in the room, or you can always put a message in our Discord, or just somehow tag me or tag Tadas or Rosmari. Would be happy to help you out as well. But I think probably most people understand it. So feel free to ask any questions there, and I suppose I'll start the breakout rooms and we'll get started with the spec game. Everybody ready? I see Zaal said, hello, everyone. Listening in, can't talk, and invited from Hotline. Excited to be here. Okay, sounds great. Also, the agency gave a smiley face and said, hope everyone is well. So great. Love all the great positive vibes, everybody. Really appreciate it. Shout out to Hodlon, too. Hodlon's joined the past 2 Optimism Fractal meetings, and he's been doing really, really super exciting work. So hope he's doing well. And thanks for inviting Zal. Looking forward to meeting you, Zal, at some point. But oh well, if Zal's just listening in, then maybe we should just do just one breakout room, because then or just one room rather, because then we have 6 participants. So maybe that makes the most sense then. Do you have any thoughts about that, Tadas? Or should we still do 2 breakout rooms?
Well, if Zaal will not be able to present his contributions, then we should do just one breakout room, I guess, where we with 6 people.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Well, yeah, if you do want to change your minds, Hal, then feel free to let us know and you'd be welcome to participate. But I suppose we'll get started with this, but we'll just stick in our one breakout room, or just our one room here, and we'll take turns with the 6 of us. And if you do want to say hello at any point, then feel free. But otherwise, we can just get started. And if anybody...
On the other hand, since he came, I think we can do 2 breakout rooms and he will just get ranked last, 3rd.
Although, that works too. Although I don't know if there is just 2 people in the breakout room and then Zal and they're just talking amongst themselves, there might not be as much conversation. But I suppose either way can work. Do you have any thoughts or preferences here? The agency said same for me. Hands pre-tied but listening. Joe might be able to at least say what we have going on. Smiley face. Yeah, Joe's been working with the agency. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe it's best to just stick in one breakout room. That way we can hear from everybody. And then feel free to share if you are able to talk. But otherwise, you're very welcome to join and listen. And really appreciate you being here. And I hope you enjoy. All right. So would anybody like to go first in the respect game? As I said before, the way it works is you can introduce yourself a bit and share what you've been doing to help Optimism, also help Fractal communities, as that's a big contribution to Optimism as well, or just in general what you've been up to. If anyone wants to go first, then feel free to take it away. Oh, I see Jason. Hey, Jason.
Hey. I'm kind of just walking around working, listening as well. And so I'm happy to like say my bit, introduce myself. I'm happy to just sort of, even though like this is the extent of participation so far. I try to remain optimistic at all times. I think that that's a good value. I think I like to optimize for that, and that Fractally is onto it. So I try to teach it when it comes up, anytime I'm teaching about crypto at all, right? So so far the recruiting effort is limited just to myself. I'm not responsible for any of the other participants yet. I'm still getting up to speed, right? I think that that's what it takes though. You create the network effect by having people take the time to familiarize. So beyond that though, like that is the governance. I guess traction in a way, in that when within governance you're having a discussion, you're trying to optimize the outcome, right? And that you're trying to be optimistic towards that outcome. So I don't know where I'm going with that, other than like it's like governance at best by design is a way of seeing it. I'm not sure if that's an optimistic enough description though, because I actually have a grander ambition beyond that for Optimo, for yes, for Fractally, right? For the fractal DAOs, and that
What is this grant about?
the grander ambition. I mean, I think that a good decision-making process is the first thing to decide on, and that everything else follows. Whatever technology gets viewed as appropriate or inappropriate, whatever agreements get made for the treatment of property, for what should be sacred and not priced, or what should be commons and not hoarded, or what should be private and not infringed on, and that those are all conversations, right? And now we're optimizing, and there are ways to get the best of both worlds, right, by design, instead of what we often end up with a poor governance outcome is sort of like the worst of both worlds, where disagreeing factions will push their side of it so hard that they stick the other side with the worst aspect of their idea, but it's mutual. So does that make sense? The grander ambition here is to get the best of all worlds rather than the worst of all worlds. Right.
Got it. So it's an abstract concept, like you just explained. I thought about some kind of grand application.
Specifically though, there are a lot of examples of that, about how diversity is at every abstract. Yeah, it is an abstract. That diversity is strength. That's true in investing. That's true within diversity of thought, and that it's only people who see each other and see things differently than each other that can see into each other's blind spot and help each other navigate through their blind spots like that. If a person has a blind spot, it's a vulnerability, and that like with governance, that's one of the problematic vectors, is that somebody who's not trying to be optimistic like that is going to exploit that blind spot, exploit that ignorance, right, and be malicious and lead somebody in the wrong direction, and that that's how you get stuck with the worst of both worlds in some ways. For what the value is supposed to uphold, for what the group is supposed to come together on. There's an expression that says, if you're not confronting a disagreement, you're not really doing governance, right? Just as within literature, if you're not if there's no antagonist, if there's no conflict, there's no story, right? It's like you're not going to make a grand film about the time that I had a nice lunch and it was very pleasant, and it was great. There was no conflict at all. Right? That was the whole movie from start to finish. It's just not a story. And so that's like, you can enjoy somebody's company and have a great time with enjoyment of company, but that's not really governance. If what you're deciding is something you agree on already, right? You're doing governance in crypto and in the world when you're confronting a serious disagreement. And that it's hard to stay optimal. It's hard to stay optimistic through that, but with a bit of structure, a bit of numeric, and a bit of rigidity to that aspect of like rewarding the optimal, or rewarding the more optimistic advocacy, more optimistic viewpoint, right? I think that that's respectful to all, and that I like to think that a person gets as much respect as they give in reality in the final analysis.
Great.
Yeah, I agree, and I actually think that might be how it ends up working often. But that's a huge another topic. So thank you.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
I think I went overtime. Sorry if I interrupted. I was agreeing with you. Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
sounds great. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate you sharing the inspiring thoughts and being here and helping lead us and helping lead people with governance is a big contribution to optimism and both Optimism Fractal. So I appreciate you sharing those. I know you've also shared great conversations with Dan Larimer recently, the creator of Fractal Democracy in many ways, and also I've really appreciated all your insights. So yeah, we do need to make sure we have enough time for everybody to go. But thank you very much, Jason. I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to collaborating with you on that grander ambition and vision to help people cooperate more optimistically and better. And I think that what we're on to with giving respect is a big way to do that. And they remind me of the Beatles song too. And in the end, the love that you give is equal to love you take, or something like that. So really inspiring. Thank
very
you.
wise words. Very wise words. I'll be on. I'll be around.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks, Jason. All right, so I don't know if Tadas, you were aiming to say something. I kind of spoke up, but I saw you were saying something. So if you wanted to add any more thoughts, then feel free to go ahead, Tadas. Or if you wanted to take away for sharing your contribution to this game, then feel free. Or yeah, Tadas, want to go ahead?
I can share my contributions. They are not that much this week. I distributed respect from last week's meeting. And other than that, I've been just generally thinking about Optimism Fractal and how it could integrate with rest of the Optimism ecosystem, and also we had a discussion with Dan and Rosmari yesterday about these things. And yeah, other than that, I've been focusing on some other stuff this week, so that's all for me.
Sounds good. Thanks, Das. Keeping a little bit hidden and safe for future weeks, perhaps. I know beforehand we were talking about your project Firmament, which is super exciting, and I imagine you're making some progress there. But happy to hear more whenever you're ready to share more updates, and really appreciate it, Das, as always.
Thanks. Well, Firmament, it's not. I wouldn't consider it a contribution to optimism yet, but. Well, I mean, Optimism platform, but it's a contribution to optimism as a whole, maybe, as a general concept. But anyway.
Well, for sure, it gives me a lot of optimism. And I think you tested on the OP mainnet. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I think you're testing it there and it's EVM compatible. Oh, okay, so you just tested the smart contracts here. Well, it's EVM compatible, so I think that can help optimism communities and Optimism Fractal very much in the future. But we can save that for more in the future. What we're talking about, I have an article on the Optimistic site about if people want to learn more, where I wrote a little bit about Firmament in the optimistics.io/tools. So thanks so much, Das, and looking forward to hearing more from you. I really appreciate your contributions. Would anybody like to go next? We have still Rosmari, Space Rainbow Joe, myself. I don't know if Zaal at the agency want to share anything. Maybe I see Rosmari's moving around. Did you want to share next, Rosmari?
Okay, how did you know?
All right, sounds good. I see you smiling, and it looks like you're ready to share some cool stuff
Yes.
that you've been up to.
Thank you. And hi everyone, I'm Rosmari, and I'm part of the Optimistics team, and I'm very happy that you're here, and thanks for your time. I'm going to feel free to reach out to me with any questions or comments or anything that you want to find out more about with regards to Optimism Fractal or in general. This, I'm going to start presenting my screen. Better show my contributions. And I had the window very small, so it was very hard to find the button. And I still can't find it. What was the way to present?
The share
Oh, share screen. Right.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
She's done this for everybody, I promise. I'm just joking.
Right. So just cleaning up clearing up the windows here, minimizing them. Now, for this week, I have edited and created thumbnails and published the videos from the previous Optimism Fractal, which is the third Optimism Fractal we had. And I'm still working on the thumbnail and namings, but for now I think is funny and Optimistics and it works. And then I also published the Hidden Fractals 73rd meeting, and looking forward to sharing much more. And you can check out this the channel at Eden Creators for all the recordings, including the recording from this meeting, which will be published by next week, this time for sure. Also, I went in and registered for Farcaster through Warpcast. I watched this podcast with Dan Romero, who's the founder of Farcaster, and found out more about nouns from the Toddy Hawk, who's the podcast interviewer at this new podcast, Zero Rights Reserved. And I shared a really nice comment today, yesterday or 2 days ago, to say that this actually made it for me, and I registered. And actually, I got some, I got a like by Dan Romero himself, and I'm very pleased with how the social media Web3 tool is and the feeling around it. There's different channels, including the OP stack, which I'm really looking forward to get engaged with and start posting more. And I also even got a warm welcome from Toddy Hawk himself. So that was a really nice kind of serendipity, because I just happened to watch this podcast, which was shared with me. Dan shared it with me, and then decided to join, and then made some good connections here, which will hopefully help Optimism Fractal and collaborating more with people in the Web3. And with that, I'm also using my Twitter account to promote what I'm doing in here too, and have pinned, for example, some of the recent posts that we've been making with the Optimistics, which is our Twitter account. I invite you to check it out and give it a follow. And I am spreading around the messages that we have in there pretty often through my personal account, as well as also I registered and listened in to the most recent Proof of Integrity's RetroPGF projects showcase, which was the one from last week. I tuned in, and I also reached out to them to register the Optimistics as one of the applicants for this round 3 of RetroPGF, to be able to go on next week on the 15th of November at 2 p.m. to show what we've been working on. I think Dan is going to speak then, and of course everyone else is welcome to join and listen too, and give us some support. So this is now waiting for us to join, and I'm very excited about that. As well as I've been working on some artwork for the Optimistics RetroPGF, as mentioned. We're trying to spread around the world that we're participating in the round 3, so that more people and badge holders especially could see the work that we've done and give us a include us in the ballots. For just to provide a bit of background for RetroPGF, which is a funding opportunity, retroactive public goods funding opportunity on Optimism. Each of the participants, they would have to have 17 badge holders voting for the project in order to be able to get something out of it. So in terms of like funding. there's many more things that we get out of it on a daily basis, like optimism, of course. But this is kind of a push that we're trying to convey more and more. And I also worked with Dan to share the recording from the first episode directly onto Twitter, and we're gonna start doing that for ease for everyone to just keep on watching on Twitter instead of going to YouTube necessarily. And worked, as mentioned, to promote the efforts in conveying the information about our participation in RetroPGF. And I think I'm going a bit over time, and apologies for that, but this is something that we're also thinking about doing in the Optimism Fractal meetings, to have our own retro pitches where we give opportunities for projects and both personal and team projects that are participating in RetroPGF to be able to pitch their projects. And I've worked on the typeform to go along with that, with some nice imagery using the Sunny, and I'll share this in the chat for anyone who's curious. And I'm looking forward to give more details coming soon, and as well as just to provide the last detail here is that I also reached out to apply as the Optimistics to give a presentation during the demo day that is organized by the Optimism's community member called Performed Normie. So I reached out to them. They said that they're fully booked up until December 21st, which is the next available day. So I'm going to try to get Optimistics to perform and present there. So this is what I've been working on. Sorry for going a bit over time. Who would like to go next?
Very nice, Rosemary. Thanks for sharing, and thanks for all the excellent work. I see Jason turn the camera on for giving thumbs up. Thanks, Jason, for sharing this support. Great to see you. Jason, your audio is messing up right now. We can't really hear you. You sound like a robot. All right. Well, Jason, hopefully you can get that figured out. Jason, would love to hear you. In the meantime, I can also just provide a bit of context.
No, sorry, just celebrating.
Okay. You say sorry, just celebrating?
The video takes too much.
Okay, I think we can hear you now if you want to repeat what you're trying to say.
Oh, wow, that was a big lag. Yeah, the video takes too much bandwidth. So I was putting the video on just to celebrate.
Okay, cool. Well,
thank you.
It was worth the celebration, and I appreciate it. And congrats to Rosmari and also to Tadas and to Jason. I didn't give claps, but much appreciation and respect for all of you. Also, to add on to Rosmari's, in case everybody's not familiar, she showed Farcaster, which is a leading app, a leading decentralized social media app on Optimism, recently ported over to Optimism, and they're building really cool stuff. Dan Romero is the founder of it. I was also listening to that as well. So super interesting and great to see people building apps like Twitter and Reddit and so forth, but in a decentralized way with all the benefits of that. And then also Tony Hawk is one of the leading podcasters in the Nouns DAO, which is also a very exciting DAO doing lots of great work. So I appreciate, Rosmari, you setting up those, you reaching out and fostering collaborations, everything. That's awesome. All right. So I know that Zaal and the agency said that they'd mostly be listening. Oh, also the agency said heck yeah at some point too. I don't know if we said that, but thanks for the support, and I'm glad you appreciate agency. If anybody does want to share their thoughts, then feel free. Space Train Good Joe, we have 15 minutes left or so in our scheduled time, but we did start like 10 minutes later or so. Or maybe even 15, because we had some confusion in the beginning trying to figure out how many people were there. So if we need to go over 10 minutes or so, that's okay. We still have a couple people need to go still. I think Space Train Good Joe will be sharing some thoughts, and I'll be sharing some thoughts as far as like contributions, what we've been doing to help the community. So I don't know if Joe, you want to go next, or should I go next, or Zaal or the agency, if you would like to, if you're able to say anything, then feel free as well. I'm happy to go next if you'd like, but if anybody else wants to jump in, then feel free. I see Joe's unmuted.
I can go after you, Dan.
Okay. Sounds good. Then I will get into it. All right. So I've also been very busy helping the Optimism Collective and Fractal communities and Optimism Fractal in the world over the past week. I've been collaborating a lot with Rosmari and Tadas and doing lots of really exciting stuff. So I'll try to share a high-level overview of all the things here in the next 4 minutes or so. So one of the main things I've been focusing on, Rosmari mentioned proof of integrity. I've also been in contact with them a bit after Rosmari reached out, and I'm going to be speaking at the proof of integrity RetroPGF product showcase on Wednesday, which is where people who have RetroPGF projects can promote their work and share what they've done to help the Optimism Collective. And then in addition to that, I joined the last one. I spoke a little bit. I learned a little bit about pull-up NFTs and NFTs that reward people for participation at events, which I'm looking into. And one of the main things I've been working on, Rosmari shared the typeform registration form. I've been working on planning Retro PGF pitch games at Optimism Fractal. So what we're planning to do is next week and for the next 2 or 3 weeks after that, we're planning to have Retro PGF pitch games. There's a Notion project here where I've been coordinating a lot of this and figuring out how it will all work. Each of these have like pretty detailed things you can look into about how to design it, how to give out the NFT prizes on Optimism. There's also a We Heart the Art competition too, where we're planning to participate in that I can show a little bit about later. But yeah, basically all these have like lots of different projects that are related to some of the stuff we've already shown before. I won't show you too much because a lot of it's kind of just like behind the scenes kind of stuff to get it all working. But one of the main things I've been working on is the announcement post to introduce what these are. Basically, what we're planning to do is we're planning to host, in addition to the Respect game, for another half hour after Optimism Fractal meetings or during Optimism Fractal meetings at the end, we're planning to host these Retro PGF pitch games. Thanks, Rosmari, for sharing the wonderful art that you put together here. And so I have this article here where I'm saying, hey, Optimist, I'm asking 3 important questions and inviting everyone to join these joyful competitions, which are both the retro pitch games and also the respect games too, because I'm introducing the concept of public goods games. I'm asking 3 important questions. How can public goods creators stand out from the crowd and be recognized from their work? How can citizens fairly reward everyone, creating a positive impact for the Optimism Collective? And what is the best way to share fun and inspiring experiences to help everyone enjoy the benefits of optimism and fractals? And the answer is, dear friends, is public goods games. So I'm provoking the imagination to imagine epic tournaments where talented creators compete and collaborate and coordinate to help optimism, like the Olympic Games, but for creating public goods. And I write more about this, and I said they were pleased to announce this. So I haven't yet put this out here, but this is what I've been working on a lot. There's more details. I didn't read it all out, but I encourage you to read the post when it comes out soon. There's also a section here that provides how the games will work. This is based off of what we did at Eden Fractal. We experimented with this in another community that we host and we started, and we've been doing for the past 18 months or so. And I'm writing an article at optimistics.io/retro pitches. It's not done yet. It's pretty sloppy, but I'm going to fix it and finish it before the promotion. And you can see where we've done this in previous meetings. We've done it with about 15 people in 3 meetings at Eden Fractal, where we pioneered this new signals app that can work with respect points and respect game. And so there's videos here, but basically I'm just curating this article where people can learn more about it. And I won't go into too much detail, but you can watch the video where people can watch how this game worked, and we have show notes, things like that. This was done 6 months ago or something like that. But now we're bringing it to Optimism, and we see a need in the Optimism community that proof of integrity is doing a great thing that allows people to promote their Retro PGF grants. People are super excited about Retro PGF because it's I think the biggest public goods funding opportunity in the world as far as I'm aware. So people are really stoked about it, and they need places to promote their work, and the badge holders need help to also find out what projects should be fairly allocated to go with the axiom of impact equals profit. So we're hosting this, and the Respect game can do this. The Respect game is designed to do this in many ways, but also this is a way to, in addition to the Respect game, host another game right after that people can quickly share what they were doing on their Retro PGF grant. So I'm introducing that and sharing the rules, and then I'm also introducing and sharing the rules about just Optimism Fractal in general, because a lot of people aren't very familiar with it yet in the community. So that's one of the main things I'm working on, and I'll share more details about that later, but I only have like 2 minutes left or so for my presentation, so I'll skip ahead because I've also been doing a lot of other stuff. In addition, I've also been working on optimistics.io/games, but it's really not ready yet. I've been working on creating a page for the Respect game in addition to retro pitches so people can learn. This is still early pages. I made some thumbnails, Rosmari cut some videos. We're going to come out with tutorials and the benefits of the Respect game and Fractal so everybody can learn. So I'm working on the foundations of these things, also the ideas for Retro PGF pitches. Big thanks to AI tools like DALL-E and and Midjourney for helping out. I watched the RetroPGF kickoff call. People can watch this to learn what is RetroPGF, as well as a bunch of amazing tools. Really enjoy and appreciate. Great hearing from Carl Flerish, who's a visionary creator of Optimism, one of the co-founders. And I learned about Pairwise, which is a great game built by the General Magic team, I believe. Is that what they're called? Yeah, General Magic, and they're making it easy for people to play games, badge holders to play games, to review projects, kind of like Tinder. So I did a lot of research into that and did some brainstorming. I've also been reviewing Tadas' article about enhancing RetroPGF with Optimism Fractal. So Tadas will share, he shared more about that last week, and he'll share more about that soon. But reviewing that, I've also been working on the Optimistics blog at optimistics.io/blog. I've been editing just the way it looks, so you can see the text and stuff, as well as just refining all the articles as I'm going along. We have lots of articles we've been writing for a while, and I've also been refining some of the introductory articles, like the roots of Optimism Fractal and how we grew, the introduction, how it sprouted over the past 4 or 5 months or so, and the deeper roots, how we've been building Optimism Fractal building fractals for the past 2 or 3 years now. And all sorts of helpful information, as well as adding more to these blog posts. Like each one of them just has more details now and links. I mentioned the We Heart the Art competition. This is a competition where the Optimism Foundation is giving out 1 million OP to artists creating on-chain art. So I did a lot of research into that and learning how to make art. And I also collaborated with Rosmari on the tweets that she showed as well. I'm not sure if she showed this one, but we have the second episode that was released, and we had him out with the nice 3-tweet thread to learn more. And then we shared this in a bunch of communities, both fractal communities and optimistic communities. So that we're spreading the word as much as possible about optimism, and then also posted in Discord. I was also checking out Hodlan's work too. Big shout out Hodlan. I don't know if Zaal's still here, but I've been checking out Hodlan's work. He shared some updates. I'm listening to his work with the PDX DAO and his posts on Warpcast, and I also applied to Gitcoin with the Eden Creators Grant to help spread the word, and I've been learning about Open Civics and MetaGov, which are 2 exciting initiatives that I think will really appreciate what we're doing here, in addition to learning about Metacaster. Lastly, I also shared some updates about Optimism and Optimism Fractal at the Eden Fractal, which is the event we host every Wednesday at 16 UTC. Everybody's welcome to join. We're pioneering a lot of these respect game processes here, and people can watch the videos there too. That's it for my presentation. I might have went a minute over again, but I hope that everybody enjoyed. And now I can pass it on to Space Rango Joe. Space Rango Joe's ready.
Well, that was a little abrupt, but yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah. You guys are doing quite a bit. I saw on my Twitter quite a bit of the Optimism Fractal stuff from Eden Creators and other stuff. So I went through and liked a lot of it. I wasn't really too familiar. I missed we did the switch over from Friday to Monday, so I kind of fell off on that and missed it. So I didn't repost anything because I'm like, well, I should probably attend a meeting before I start reposting everything and doing everything. But I did love them or like them or put the heart, whatever you call it, on X now. Yeah, and I'm interested in optimism. I am a big fan of the Bankless Show and Sean Ryan Adams, although I do question anybody who uses all 3 of their names. I worry. But anyways, I am a fan of that show, and I am a fan of being bankless. I do think optimism is good. I think it's great that they're doing public goods, and that's why I'm here. And as far as fractal governance and all that stuff goes, I've been very lucky to be involved with these different groups that explore this old paradigm, but in new ways. Had the honor to meet Dan Larimer, who kind of, his book got me involved with this again due to be involved with all this fractal stuff. So I'm very appreciative of that. And then we're working. Rob here with me is working, and we've other people on a fractal of our own, which is Upland Aliens, which combines 2 metaverses, the Alien Worlds metaverse and the Upland metaverse, and really just the communities of both. We're slowly building that and formulating it. We entered a hackathon and won, so we're kind of using our win from that and building from that. And that's what I've been up to recently. as far as Fractal and Optimism goes, and I'm looking forward to learning more. And I am into art and creating NFTs and digital collectibles and everything. So I'd like to hear more about Optimism in that regard. I know ETH and I know Polygon and all that, but I'm interested to hear how Optimism works with all that and get a little more familiar. So yeah, that's my contributions.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Space Wrangler Adams Joe. No, I'm just joking. Your comment made me laugh about the three names thing. I see Jason giving the hands and giving the thanks. I second that. Appreciate it very much. I see Rosemary wrote super cool art. Loving the baby alien. Yeah, the agency's got the baby alien, which I think Joe or the agency or somebody designed some really cool artwork there with Upland and the aliens. And for anybody who's not familiar, Alien Worlds and Upland are two of the largest metaverse games and most popular metaverse games in the world in Web3. They're both, you can learn at, I think, Upland, Upland.io and Alien Worlds.io, if I'm not mistaken, but they're both really awesome games that have been very successful for the past several years. So I encourage people to look out. And also, Joe, I don't know if you're familiar, but well, two things. You mentioned one, you're interested in art on Optimism, and I mentioned a competition before, which I think you'd be very interested in checking out, and I encourage you to check it out. It is we love the art.optimism.io. I can share a link in here. It's called We Heart the Art competition. It's a competition where they're giving out 1 million OP to creators in on-chain or creators who make on-chain art. There's 4 different categories for AI art, music, one-of-ones, and something else. And it's pretty large amount of funding. Like right now, OP, I think it's like $1.50 per token. So it's like $1.5 million art competition. And there's going to be, I think 180 winners and like that. And from there, you can learn about some of the top platforms. They have like 9 platforms I've been learning about: Manifold, OpenSea, Mint.fun, several other ones. So I'd be happy to follow up with you about that afterwards and share some links, but I can also share it in the chat. I see Jason saying good stuff with a smiley face. I'm glad to see you're enjoying it. Oh, and then also, Joe, one other thing I was going to mention too is there might be some collaborations between Upland Aliens and the metaverses and gaming environments in Optimism too. Optimism has some really cool games like OP Craft and Mud for like fully autonomous games, which are quite similar to the games we've been interacting with, but different in many exciting ways too. So thanks so much, Joe, and I'll share those links. And then I see Tadas shared the Fractalgram group, and Jason gives thumbs up. Thank you. So we can all join Fractalgram. We are at the top of the hour, so I suppose we should be pretty quick with that. If the agency or Zaal, either one of you did speak a bit, we only have 5 people participating in the respect game so far. So if you want to earn a bit of respect, basically respect is an on-chain, non-transferable token that is used to award people for sharing contributions. One thing I mentioned before too is when we play this game in Fractalgram, which Tasha shared the link for, the way it works is we have to come to consensus. 4 to 6 consensus, or in our case, I guess it's 4 to 5. It's 2/3 of the people need to agree on the rankings of contributions for this past week. So we'd say, oh, this person, I don't know whether it's Tadas or Jason or Rosmari or Space Wrangler Joe, whoever it is, got level 6 because they did the most. Then we have to come to 66% consensus about that. And then we do who did the second most this week. And then each week we do that, we share what we did, and people get more respect over time, and that respect can serve as a way to form reputation, and it can also be used to play other games and to have different powers in the community and help it opt in all sorts of different ways. So that's kind of how it works. And the way more specifically that works is that up to 6 people can play in each room. So far we have 5 people playing. I see Zaal said just learning about Optimism here, so not much contribution on my end. So sounds good. Well, thanks for learning about Zaal, and thanks for learning about Optimism, Zaal, and that's a contribution in itself. So I know Jason's also new to the Optimism community too. Lots of people are. We're fairly new as well, but just learning is a big contribution. So and I see Zaal just left. I know he had, or they, I don't know how to pronounce. I don't even know how to pronounce their name. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing Zaal wrong, but I know they left and rejoined. So maybe they'll be back soon. The agency, if you did want to say a quick hello or anything like that, then feel free, and you could earn a bit of that respect. If not, then we can go ahead with the Fractalgram. And
yeah, sure.
Okay, cool.
I'll say hello. Yeah, it's been a fun project working with Joe. Well, I love working with Joe. I mean, it's hard to find 2 clowns that are like very similar. But anyway, something I at least had done this week though, I was working on one of our like trivia flyers. It's not 100% done because we're waiting on the date to be narrowed down, but I mean it's like 95%. But yeah, so that is something I can mention at least, you know. But that's for Upland Aliens though. So yeah, just wanted to say hello. I'm Rob, by the way.
Very cool. Well, pleasure to meet you, Rob, and thanks for sharing and saying hello. Very much appreciate it, and I'd love to see one of those flyers if you have them. I'm looking forward to learning more. Joe's told me at the Eden Fractal meetings and other meetings about what he's been doing with Upland Aliens. So I hope you've been enjoying the Fractal games, and it seems like you're getting really into it. So I'm very much looking forward to learning more of your work. If you want to share anything else, then feel free. But otherwise, appreciate it and looking forward to hearing more in the future. All right, cool. And I know Zaal, and by the way, feel free to correct me if I mispronounced your name. I know you said you can't talk, but if you did want to share anything, then once again, feel free, and nice to see you. And I see agency said thanks, you too, so you're very welcome, and sounds great. So I suppose that being that the agency spoke and shared some contributions, then the agency can participate in the group. I see Zaal asked for the Telegram group again. So I'm pretty sure the way it works is, well, right now there's 5 people in the group. So there needs to be at most 6 people in the Telegram group to make it work. So I suppose the agency, since you went ahead and shared your contributions, if you want to join the Telegram group, then we can play Fractalgram with the 6 of us. And Zaal, you can watch it. We could just let you know how it goes, and then I suppose next time or whenever you're ready to play in the future, then you can also be in the Telegram group to earn the respect as well. But certainly earning my respect by being here and by learning about optimism. So looking forward to learning more about what you're doing. And yeah, right now we only have 5 people in the Telegram group. So agency, if you do want to join that, I don't know if you saw the link, but then we could include you in the respect game if you want to join. And I see agency also shared some cool picture too for Upland Aliens trivia with prizes. And ooh, it looks very cool. If you went to the AW show, shout out. Looks very cool. Thanks for sharing that, agency. And I'll try to check out one of these shows. And I'd also love to come to the Upland Aliens meeting sometime too. There's lots of great fractal communities, and I'm a big fan of Upland and Alien Worlds. So thanks so much.
Yeah, I know Rob's fairly new to Telegram, so he's, I don't know, but as far as joining the group and all that, I know it was a little difficult for me just learning Telegram early on. But yeah, you just click that link, Rob, and then open it in your Telegram. Sorry.
One thing that yeah, thanks, Joe. And yeah, there's a bit of a learning curve, but it does make it pretty simple though. Overall, once you get the hang of it, it's quite intuitive. But I'm also wondering too, Space Wrangler, Joe, Jason, agency, do you all have accounts? Do you have Optimism accounts or Ethereum accounts? And are you familiar with how to use a wallet like MetaMask?
No,
I do.
Yes,
I
and
do.
yes.
Okay, so you don't have Optimism, but you have.
I have it
Ethereum?
connected. Yes, and I have it connected MetaMask on my phone. I just have it on a different device.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. I don't know if and I see the Space Wrangler Joe said yes, I think. So that's nice. And then agency said fairly yes, but only MM from me. Okay, cool. So there might be a bit of technical challenge here. The way it's supposed to work is that 4 out of 6 people are supposed to submit it on chain in order for it to count. Well, in previous Fractal, sometimes we had it like 3 out of 6 and we still counted it because it's good enough when we also have the video. So we could do that. Also, if you do, so Jason, you said that you have MetaMask, but it's not with you right now. The window is open for like 2 hours to vote, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Tadas, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't know if you'd be near your computer. And then to use an Optimism account, if you have an Ethereum account or just an Ethereum public key with MetaMask, then you can just go to Switch Network and you can post it there. So it's pretty simple to do, but there is a little bit of a learning curve. So Josh, do you have any recommendations on the best way to do that? I suppose it's probably good enough if like just the 4 of us do it. I suppose that's good because Space Wrangler Joe said he could do it, and then Jason and the agency are both pretty familiar with it. So if the 4 of us can do it, that would be 4 to 6.
Jason, do you maybe know your
I'll be able to. Yeah,
account
I'll get
address.
inside. 1 second. I'll hop inside real quick while we're still on to do this.
Okay, cool. Thanks. I'm also getting mine now too. Joe and agency, if you could enter the public key. Oh, I see Joe already did. I'm going to be doing it now as well.
Yeah, so if Joe submits, as well as us, Rosmari, Dan, and me, then we have 4. But it would be good to get the addresses at least of agency and Jason.
Mm-hmm.
So that's as simple, Rob, I don't know if you know, but I'm sure you do, but just as simple as opening your MetaMask and then copying your public key address and then pasting it in that Telegram.
Yep. And when you paste it as a reply.
Yeah, that's key point. Sorry.
Oh, good.
Almost done.
Okay, sounds good. While you're taking care of that, I'm also going to share the tweet for Joe. I know I said I did it before about the We Heart the Art competition, and for a bit more details, that is going on for the next 4 weeks or so. And you can check it out at the tweet that I just shared, or it's welovetheart.optimism.io. Really cool competition, and you might want to check that out as well, agency, in the future, because it seems like you got some serious art skills.
And you can participate once for each category.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're planning on making some songs, making some AI art, taking all the cool Optimism Fractal art and bringing it to the next level with on-chain collectibles, NFTs, and stuff like that. Really excited about this competition and on-chain art in general. I think it will be. I think it is profoundly hopeful for creators in the world as a whole. Do we have all the name, or we're still waiting for Jason and the agency? But I suppose we could start the DAOs with just the voting, or not voting, but consensus, and then when they have their public keys, then they can give them. We can manually input it.
Yes, just when you have the address, just reply to that prompt for an account name. Meanwhile, we can start voting on the level 6 and 5.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. So, yeah, if you're not familiar with the agency or anybody, I'll also kind of walk through it. Zaal, what we're doing right now in the Telegram group is we just put up a poll that says who should be ranked level 6. And then everybody, the 6 peoples who are playing this respect game, their names are there, as well as their accounts, and then we can click on that, and that's how we reach consensus. The agency, I just saw you shared your public key, but you need to share it as a response to Tadas's original message where it says, please enter your account name. So if you could do it there, and we could manually input it, but that just makes it all automated, so it makes it work better. Cool, thanks. And so far there's 2 votes on here. So when everybody's ready, then feel free to share who you think did the most to help Optimism and help Fractals, and who's doing the most helpful work this week. I suppose the specific goal is to help Optimism, just to be clear. But also contributions to Fractals are very much a helpful contribution to Optimism too. So I should probably be clear on that. All right, so far there's been, I see 4 people who submitted votes so far, and we have not yet received votes from Rosmari or or who else? Space Ranger Joe. Have you voted, Rosmari? I don't see your vote yet. Oh. Okay, now I do.
Yes.
Okay, so now what we have is there's 1 vote for the agency, there's 3 votes for me, there's 1 vote for Space Ranger Joe, and there's 1 vote for Rosmari. Would anybody like to share why they voted for who they voted for, or advocate either way, or change their votes? because we need to come to consensus with at least 4 to 6 people. Right now we have 3 to 6 for one person.
Yeah, I voted for Dan because I think he did the most, and his contributions are specifically focused on Optimism Fractal. Like the mission of this fractal is growing optimism, and his contributions were very focused on that, on specifically RetroPGF. Pitches session is something that this community could really use. And yeah, while contributions of others, like I see how we could help Optimism platform, Dan's contributions were the most direct, I think. And also Rosmari has direct contributions to Optimism.
And something else, just so you know, Rob, if you click where the vote is and hold down, it will allow you to retract your vote, so you can change it that way.
Yes.
Thank you much.
All right.
Yes.
It looks like I have consensus now. Looks like agency changed the vote to me. So thanks Tadas for the support. Appreciate it. And thanks everybody for the respect. Now we can move on to level 5. But yeah, I very much appreciate that all. And now we'll see who the group consensus did the second most this week. Help Optimism. So far, there's been 3 people who have voted. And we have not yet received votes from Jason or the agency or Rosmari. And it looks like Rosmari has consensus right now, so far at least. She has 4 to 6 consensus, 5 out of 6 consensus. She voted for space, but everybody else voted for her. Sounds good. Big thanks, Rosmari. I think on that note too, just real quick, the collaborations that Rosmari is fostering are really, really helpful. So as well as all of her, she's been working really hard and doing great work. So big shout out and thank you. And it looks like Space Ranger Joe's gonna have consensus here. So far, there's 4 people who voted, and everybody's voted for Space Ranger Joe. Big shout out, thanks to Space Ranger Joe. Whoops, I just accidentally voted. I'm gonna retract my vote. And now we're deciding who should be ranked level 3. So far, we have 4 votes in. And it'd be really cool if we can get like a display here at some point. Sometimes we share our screen with Fractalgram to make it simpler, but we could make this like really epic game, like to spice it up and have like all sorts of cool stuff. So far there's been, it looks like Das voted for the agency. 2 people voted for Jason, Rosmi, myself, and Jason, Space Ranger Joe, and the agency voted for Tadas. Would anybody like to share their thoughts here? I was thinking about voting for Tadas too, because he's been doing incredible amount of work for Optimism specifically, as he shared, and I think Tadas is very understated too. I see that his work for Firman's a big contribution, even though it's not working on Optimism right now, and then he's done a great amount of work, is super helpful. But also, I see somebody change. If Tadas, you want to vote for yourself, I could also switch to vote for you too, because I think for sure you have done more specifically to help Optimism than Jason. Jason currently has 2. I really appreciate Jason in general, and Jason's shared a lot of great thoughts in general. So that's what I was thinking, maybe because you said you didn't do too much, but just playing the game specifically on who helped Optimism the most, I'd say Tadas probably done so for this week. But I'm happy to go either way though. But I suppose I can switch to Tadas. And
The reason I voted for Tadas was because I noticed that he was acknowledging everyone else's contribution. Meanwhile, he's doing some things that others can't as well. So yeah, gotta give credit where it's due like that. That's what I really think.
Okay,
Good
thank
point.
you. I appreciate it. Kind words.
And Tadas, I don't know if you mentioned, but you also distributed the on-chain respect too.
Yeah,
Maybe you
I
mentioned that, but
mentioned.
forgot. Okay, cool. Okay, nice. Okay, and now we're on who should be ranked as level 2. And so far it looks like Jason has 4 out of 4 votes. So it looks like Jason will be taking in level 2. And he's got 5 out of 5 votes right now. So yeah, see, also, yeah, Zaal had asked, what do I need to do next week to participate in the game? And Zaal said, have an Optimum account ready. And Rosmari shared out asking a question, saying, feel free to reach in Telegram or continue in Telegram or in our Discord too. I don't know if you're there already in our Discord. If you check out optimismfractal.com, you can find a link to our Discord from there. And yeah, sounds good. And so that means that agency gets level 1. Everybody who participates in the respect game gets on-chain respect as awards. And I mentioned all the benefits of that before. So that concludes the respect game. Basically, we went a bit over time. I see that Jason shared his public key on Optimism, so thank you very much for sharing that, Jason. And I think we have all the accounts, so basically it all worked out perfectly. I'm pretty sure that that concludes everything that we need to do here. If anybody has any last things you want to share, I suppose we can start wrapping up in just a few minutes because we're already a bit over time. But basically, thanks everybody for playing the Respect game. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a fantastic time. I'm super inspired and really appreciate everybody being here from Fractal communities, from Optimism, everybody who's learning about what we're doing, and everybody who's been helping communities so much for so long. Really appreciate it. And hope that everybody enjoyed it. I think I just said that, but yeah, basically we're going to be doing this game every week, every Monday at 17 UTC. So I encourage you to join again. If you haven't signed up already, lou.ma/Optimism Fractal, where you can get weekly reminders, and feel free to invite friends. And you know the deal. I shared some of the links before. So I suppose we can, if anybody has any last thoughts, if you want to share your experience with Optimism Fractal, what it's been like so far, then feel free to share. We can go for a bit longer and then wrap it up whenever we're all ready. Thanks for hosting. You're welcome, agency. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. All right. So, and
Wait
thanks.
a second.
What's that? Well, what?
Dan, you and Rosmari
I have
shared
not
the
yet
same.
done.
You and Rosmari shared the same address, I think.
Oh, did we? Was I accidentally trying to game it? I might have copied, or maybe Rosemary copied my address. Oh, I think I might have made a mistake there. Sorry about that. I have it in our chat. It's on my phone, so I suppose I'll just go get it right now and then just copy and paste it there. My apologies. That was a super mistake I did, I guess.
Yeah, so please don't submit this consensus yet. I will delete it.
Okay.
Right now.
Oh, yeah, and I should have mentioned that too. So if everybody can please, in Fractalgram, at the bottom of the Fractalgram where it says, like, I don't have it in front of me, but I think it says, please click here to submit your result, or results can be submitted here.
Bass player.
Then I think you just heard bass player, Jason. I don't know if you're trying to be muted right now, talking about bass players.
Yeah, I'm muttering to myself. I'm looking at my instrument set. I'm thinking about the bands I've been in the past. I'm excited for the music bit. I was like, you need a rhythm guitar, you need a bass player, you need a backup singer with a low register, you need some ad hoc percussion. It's gonna be a great time.
Okay, very cool. Well, yeah, we have that on-chain music competition that I'm playing like music on. I know Rosmari is too. Maybe we could all come up with a song together and jam. We talked about that a bit before too, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would love to do music practicals too. So I would love to play more music. So we should definitely jam sometime.
Yeah, have you seen what happens with those chromatic plates with sound energy and what it does to the distribution of sand on the plate?
Yes, that is what is it called? By the way, Tadas, I just put in the results. So if you could regenerate it maybe, or I can regenerate it, we can do it.
Cymatics.
Yes, Cymatics.
Yes.
I actually made a video about that like 6 years ago. I was really inspired by it. I put a video on YouTube and I did all the research into it. It's pretty cool and incredible.
Oh yeah.
Do you do it or have you experimented with it?
I just understand sound that way. I just think of music that way. I think that's how it affects us at the cellular level.
Yeah, there's a lot of fascinating ways that music works, and it works in fractals too. It works in fractals,
And that's the other
beautiful
thing, is
fractal patterns.
That's the thing about it, is that it makes that, right? It creates that. It's an infinite thing.
Yeah, this is fascinating, and it's very beautiful too. If you haven't checked out Cymatics yet, I recommend people watch videos on YouTube. They look really cool, and it makes you really think about how the universe works and science, and it's very enjoyable. And also, by the way, if anybody hasn't submitted their results on chain yet, so Tadas just reposted it with the correct addresses. I'm fixing up my previous mistake. So if everybody hasn't yet done it, then please do go into the Fractalgram group that we set up and click where it says results can be submitted here, the here button, and then go to submit that. Also, if anybody needs any help, like changing, I'm pretty sure Tadas it automatically does automatically default to the Optimism OP mainnet now. You don't have to change your networks.
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, we're already 20 minutes over time. I don't know if anyone else wanted to share some last thoughts, but thanks so much, Jason, the agency, Zaal, and Space Wrangler for joining us for the first time here. I hope that you had a wonderful time, and hope to see you again soon, and really appreciate everything you're doing. Hope that you'll enjoy learning more about optimism and getting involved in the ecosystem, and I think there'll be a lot of great collaborations, and thanks as always to Tadas and Rosmari for help making this event happen as well. I encourage everybody to join future events. Optimism Fractal every Monday at 17 UTC. We also have Eden Fractal every Wednesday at 16 UTC. There's the Upland Aliens that Joe hosts, I think, on Thursdays. I'm not sure if you wanted to give a quick shout out for there. There's lots of different communities where you can get involved. And optimismfractal.com, and Rosemary just shared our Discord link too, where feel free to reach out with any questions or comments. I'm very excited to collaborate with you in between the week, and hope to see you all in future weeks. And yeah, feel free to invite friends too. We'd love to meet people. Anybody have any last thoughts, or should we maybe count it down? Sometimes we say like 3, 2, 1, grow optimism or something like that, or grow Optimism Fractal.
Then you are really the natural leader for the Optimism DAO, because you're just hoping like there's going to be another thing. There's going to be another thing. There's going to be another thing. Everybody blessings. Everybody well wishes. This has been fantastic. We're overtime. Let's do it again. Another round of the table. Who's enthusiastic? And sing joy.
There you go.
Well done,
Thanks,
sir.
Jason.
Well done, sir. Well done, sir. Very energetic. I love it.
Thank you very much, Jason. I really appreciate that. And I love your enthusiasm and energy insights too. And yeah, I suppose we should wrap it up. Usually we try to wrap it up like on time, but because of all the issues went longer, so I'm kind of like in a halfway state between like, do we go, do we stop? But I think we should probably wrap it up. But yeah, if anybody has last thoughts, I mentioned that a couple times, but here's one last call for last thoughts. If not, then we can wrap it up. And thanks once again.
You got it.
Okay. I think that's it. So thanks all. See you next week. I hope you all have a wonderful week. And I say 3, 2, 1, go Optimism Fractal.
Go Optimism Fractal.
Go Optimism Fractal.
There you go. All right, see you everybody. Peace and love.
Peace.
Some love. Bye.